Alright, I need to talk about this because the Thursday night game has ended, and boy, that might have been the single worst game I've ever watched. It wasn't a boring game, but it was bad. And I am pissed. I am pissed. I'm not even a Charger fan, and I'm pissed. I hate it when talent is wasted. There is clearly so much goddamn talent on the Chargers. One of the most talented teams in the entire league. They probably have the best roster in the AFC West. What does it come down to? They're horribly coached. Brandon Staley should not have a fucking job. He needs to fucking go. Hugh Jackson and Urban Meyer were bad, but Brandon Staley, he might be worse than both of them. He really might be. How the fuck did this team make the playoffs last year? It's just bad. You give up 63 points. Granted, not all of it was your defense, but you're a known defensive guru. The Raiders got shut out last week. 4 days ago, actually. Well, now 5 because I'm on the East Coast. The Raiders lost 3-0 last week. What happens immediately 4 days later? They go out and win 63 points. The writing's on the room. Brandon Staley should not have a job. It's fucking pitiful. I know Tom Telesco should be catching flack. He should be. But Brandon Staley should not be fucking innocent of this. Oh, and to any Justin Herbert hater out there, I demand a fucking apology right now. I demand an apology. Was any of this his fault? Was last week his fault? Were those two his fault? Hack of a fucking coach. Hands down, the single worst coaching job in the league. I am pissed that talent is being wasted. And it is being wasted on full display. It is very clear the players quit. The players do not want to play with Staley. They clearly sent a message like that on the field. They did this on purpose. They did this on purpose. They sent a message to Spanos with this. If you don't fire this guy, this is going to happen every game. They quit. They fucking quit. He has to go. You can't keep Staley. No, I'm not. I said earlier I'm not a Charger fan. I'm pissed that talent is being wasted. That's the one thing I hate. Talent being wasted. Talent is being wasted on full display, and I'm pissed that it's being wasted. When talent is wasted, I get real pissed. I was pissed at the Angels because they wasted Ohtani and Trout. I'm going to talk about the Ohtani. I'm gonna do a separate stream on Art Moreno because good God. Oh, and by the way, the Chargers play the Bills next week. If Staley's not fired, I am predicting an 80-point blowout. I think Josh Allen's going to throw for like 10 touchdowns. Like, this was the single worst coaching job in the entire league. You cannot excuse this performance. Me personally, I don't care who you are as a coach. If you lose 63-21, you deserve to be fired. I do not care who you are. I don't care what you are. If you lose 63-21, you should be fired. Every single coach should be fired. Their general manager should be fired. This is pitiful. And have you guys seen Brandon Staley's offense? Not offense. Have you guys seen Brandon Staley's press conference? Have you seen the shit he's been saying? How the fuck does he have a job? Seriously, how the fuck does this man have a job? Look, I know I'm not a look, you guys know I am not a Charger fan. I'm not. I never hated the Chargers at all, but I'm not a Charger fan. But let's be real here. No way should any talent be wasted. Oh yeah, 100%. He also was asked, will he keep his job? He said he doesn't know. Green Bay, and we're not even going to make the playoffs. He said, I don't know if I'm going to keep my job. And then immediately after he was asked, should you keep your job? And he said, yes. He immediately said yes. And he was like, oh, this is a bad game. Something like that. Remember when they played the Ravens? Brandon Staley knows he's getting fired too. They're going to fire him. It's a matter of time. Richard Sherman, I'm pretty sure you guys caught this. Pretty sure everyone caught this. I heard him say it. He said Brandon Staley should be fired at half. He said Brandon Staley should be fired at half. I don't blame him. They should have fired him at half. It is easily the worst coaching job ever. Easily the worst coaching job of the entire season. Easily. It is not even up for debate. Josh McDaniels was bad. Mike Tomlin is bad. And trust me, he is. Todd Bowles is bad. I don't give a fuck that they're 10-3. Mike McCarthy is bad. Pete Carroll, I think he's about to be on the hot seat. Don't fire him, but he's about to be on the hot seat. Arthur Smith is bad. Dennis Allen is bad. Josh McDaniels got fired. Matt Eberflus is another bad coach. Another bad coach. Another one. The Raiders lost 3-0 to the Vikings, may I remind you. Granted, I have given the Vikings defense a lot of credit. I think Brian Flores is one hell of a defensive coordinator. Not yet. Not yet. But if they don't win, then yeah, I would fire him. Also, prayers up for Will Clapp, by the way. He's not a good player, but he went down, and it looked really bad. Plato. Yeah, banned Thursday Night Football. It's been terrible this year. You guys saw that Brandon Bolden touchdown? The signs were there. The signs were clearly there. They quit. They clearly quit. That was genuinely the worst game I've ever watched. The Vikings-Raiders game was just comically bad, but I didn't watch that game because I was watching the Chiefs-Bills game. I was able to watch this game. I watched this game. It was bad from the start. The writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. The writing is in the locker room. Brandon Staley should never be allowed to be a head coach. I'll talk about that in a separate stream. I will. But the only thing I'm going to say about this is the fire sale has begun. I don't blame you. It was fucking terrible. I know there were exciting plays like a pick six, a fumble six. I thought maybe the Chargers might have got something out of him. Year one, I mean, he fucked up that timeout situation, and I was like, it's his first year. I'll give him another year. If he's really bad, then you need to fire him. Then the 27-point game happened. I was like, yeah, you need to fire him. There is no excuse for that. You were up 27-0 with Justin Herbert and your defense playing well. Your defense was playing well. Justin Herbert had a decent game so far, and you blow that game and you lose. That was embarrassing. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look that up on my own time. But I'm willing to bet. If they don't fire Staley, they're going to get 80 put on them by the Bills. Hell, they could put, Matt Barkley in the game and put 60 on them. They could put... They could actually put, they could put 50 with any quarterback on a defeated Chargers team. The writing is clearly on the wall. I know I sound like a broken record, but fire Brandon Staley. I know Tom Telesco needs to go too. I think he's a bad general manager, but Brandon Staley, there is simply no excuse. If I'm a Chargers fan, I would be pissed that this happened. I wouldn't be pissed at a loss, but I would be pissed at how it happened. I would be pissed. This was flat out pathetic. And I get pissed off when talent is being wasted. Please, the Chiefs didn't waste Mahomes' talent. More than 2 rings. Please, they didn't waste his talent. They fucking won 2 rings. I get pissed off when talent gets wasted. It's unbelievable how you fuck up that bad, and now you're gonna suffer because you took too long to fire him. Fucking terrible. I knew the Raiders were gonna win, but I didn't think this would fucking happen. But yeah, I got a new lock next week. Yes. Everyone hates on Herbert. Oh, Herbert is literally Herbert that. There's no denying the fucking talent. And guess what? Not all of it is his fault. There's some parts of it that you can put blame on him. And trust me, I have. Herbert is one of my favorite quarterbacks, too. I love Justin Herbert. He's second, actually. He's my second favorite quarterback behind Lamar. At least Lamar isn't being wasted. It's just the Ravens keep getting fucked by injuries. Just awful. So you have a star quarterback. He's not a superstar, but he's a star, Justin Herbert. You have a good running back duo. Not a great running back duo. Eckler and Kelly are both good. You have Keenan Allen, who still has it. You have Mike Williams, who's really fucking good when he plays. It's just he's injury prone. You have Corey Linsley, Rashawn Slater on the offensive line. You have a defense with Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Eric Kendricks, Derwin James, and Asante Samuel Jr. You have 5 good defensive players. You have a roster that can compete for a fucking Super Bowl. And you're 5-9. You're 5-9 with a roster that can compete for a Super Bowl. It does not matter what anyone says. No one can convince me Brandon Staley was the worst head coach this year by far. Granted, there's other bad coaches out there like Todd Bowles, Dennis Allen, who else? Bill Belichick this year, and he's getting fired. And I'm willing to bet if they fire McCarthy, he's gonna be a fucking Cowboy. Jerry Jones would do it, but Staley's a defensive guru, guys. He was a defensive coordinator. He was the Rams defensive coordinator. They hired him because we need defense. His defense sucked. And he has stars all over his defense. Stars. Stars on his defense. And guess what? He has not done shit with that defense. Their offense was fine until they ran into the Ravens. And well, now it's gone to shit because Herbert is now out for the season. And I don't blame Herbert. I would not have played again after this. After this, I would be like, I'm not playing until you fire Staley. I am not playing for you guys until you fire Staley. No. Here's the thing. This year, they were Super Bowl or bust. They don't win the Super Bowl, he's gone. He's gone. If the Cowboys don't win the Super Bowl, he's fucking gone. There's no way you keep McCarthy if they don't win the Super Bowl. That's the thing. I don't think they're getting in. I don't. Not all of the Raiders' points were scored on the Chargers' defense. They had 2 defensive touchdowns, but 49 points to a Raiders team that got shut out by the Vikings. Yeah. That is signs of should be fucking fired. You are a horrible coach. You are a fucking horrible coach. Not all of it is on him. There is fault to be played on, like, Tom Telesco, the general manager. Some of the players, not all of them, but yeah. And Brandon Staley, he's lost his locker room. And also, I have a question for you guys. Did you guys hear what Richard Sherman said about Brandon Staley at halftime? Richard Sherman. I hate Richard Sherman, by the way. I agreed with him about this. I'm going to tell y'all what Richard Sherman had to say. Brandon Staley should be fired at halftime. You're like, hey, we have an Uber. We have an Uber for you, and we're going to take you, and he's going to take you home. There is no way Brandon Staley keeps his job after this year. If he does, I will be floored. This was no question the worst coaching job of the entire fucking season. Wasn't even close. Yeah, guys, get a load of this. And if you say it's false, go on Twitter. Everyone is saying it. Everyone is saying it. Everyone is. Just awful. Anyways, I'm going to head on out. I'll see you guys for my Glasnow trade reaction stream. I'll see you guys next time. I'm gone. Peace.